So, what's up, everyone? Pain Freak, the Freak Chef, here, your personal culinary pain toy, and today it's all about the clams. Very excited about. So, first of all, let's get into clams. Sometimes people are afraid of these little things. I mean, they're really not anything to be afraid of, but a lot of people don't understand what to do with them, how to take care of them, and all that. So, that's what I want to cover a majority of in this video. I'm going to make a quick recipe at the end, and you guys are going to love clams by the time I'm done with you. So, first of all, I got these clams yesterday, and they've been what I call purging. So, let's first look at the clam, these delightful little bivalves, the aquatic mollusks, and all that, and how I take care of them. So when I get fresh clams, I like to put them in the fridge. Typically, the fishmonger store you get them from will, depending on the store, they'll sometimes have them in these little basket, little tight little basket little things that just don't do them any good. They have no way to open up and be able to purge. So if you have wild clams, typically they were from the ocean or the bay or someplace, some saltwater body around the globe that covers most of it, and they need to just spit, and they gather mud and do certain things and spit a lot. Before I like to cook them, I like to leave them in the fridge for a day. And if you get them from your fishmonger, they typically give them to you in like a bag of ice and these little bundles, these little mesh little things that are no good for them. They need to be able to open up, they need to be able to breathe, they need to be able to purge, spit, fart, and make a bunch of funny sounds. And you just keep them in the fridge overnight, sometimes up to 2 days. Now, I know people look at that like, wow, if it's fresh, then don't you want to use it right away? Yes, you can. No big deal, especially if they're farmed clams. The other thing is, get them in your fridge. Get rid of the ice. You don't want to freeze the clams. If a clam freezes, you're pretty much killing it. And I know there are rumors and myths out there that talk about, well, if you par cook a clam, like you just give it a little steam and just once the shell opens, you can close it back up again and then put them in like vacuum bags and freeze them and all that shit. Well, it's not a fresh clam at that point, and they have a tendency to be very rubbery and all that. On top of that, you don't really know the source of what actually froze the clams if you buy frozen clams. I would never do that. I think it's very risky because some places just will vacuum pack clams because they look healthy, just like all these look right here. They are very healthy. They're very happy. They've been actually sitting for 24 hours in the refrigerator listening to surfer music on a Bluetooth speaker. That's just one of the things I do. I also took them to the park. We played on the swings, and now we're cooking them. Clams have to be very happy. Happy as a clam. That's why that expression exists, I think. If that's not why the expression exists, then I don't give a fuck. That's just what I think clams need, deserve, and I think it's a nice life for a clam. So once you've been playing in the mud and all that, and you're a clam, then like you just like get pulled up from the mud, and then like you get like after the ice thing and after the supermarket the basket thing, you release them from the basket, put them in an ice container in the fridge, and then like just play a lot of like cool surfer music for them, and then you take them to the park the day you're gonna cook them, and then you bring them back home. And I have like a whole bunch, but I just pulled about 6 or 8 out. Yeah, I pulled about 8 out, just to be able to do this recipe and just talk about clams for you guys.
So here's how the rocks clams. And guess what, guys? My clams got really thirsty playing on the playground, so we drove all the way to Kentucky to come to the rock splash and shit. And we're all here at the bar. All my clams are lined up, ready to get some shots, guys. So this is going to be very exciting. There you go, guys. Drink up. Nice little port wine after dinner, pool drink.
we're the clams, 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 we're the clams. We are living in weird religion. We're all sleeping on borrowed time.
Okay, our Clem's gonna play pool. That's a shot it's going for right there. Let's see if it makes it here.
So, the next thing is, oh, what else? Oh my God, there's so much to talk about with clams. Oh, so I was talking to, I was talking to a friend of mine, and they're like, well, how long can you keep clams in the fridge? Okay, I have kept clams in the refrigerator, in a container, uncovered, no lid cover, but I put like wet paper towels down underneath them, and then I'll put like wet paper towels on top. I put a Bluetooth speaker in there that plays a lot of surfing music, um, from my little Pandora clam channel that I made for surfing music to keep clams nice and happy in the fridge. And then we go to the park. I'll bring them back. We'll go back in the fridge, and they're all very excited and everything. I have kept clams in the fridge for up to, I'm going to say 6 days a couple Christmases ago, because the fresh seafood order came in at a certain seafood market I was using at the time, and their deliveries came in on like one day, and Christmas Eve that I had to cook for a party for was not all the way until like, I think it was a Friday or Saturday or something like that. So it was like one of those. So I ordered them a week ahead, got the lobster tails, the clams, this, that, and the other, and I had to keep the clams fresh and alive. That was a lot of surfing music on the Bluetooth in the fridge, a lot of changing paper towels and stuff like that, but back to why we don't keep them on the ice. A lot of times your fishmonger will actually send them home with you in a little bag on the little bundles and stuff like that they net them in, on ice. Clams are saltwater bivalves or aquatic mollusks, whatever you want to call it, and they don't like fresh water. Now, there is a myth where like, oh, you just take water and sea salt and make salt water, and they can live in those. You can put them in the bottom of flower pots and shit, and you have clams forever. No, it doesn't work that way. The other thing is, I was looking at something online, and it said something like, oh, we'll just put them in a bucket of water with cornmeal, not cornstarch, cornmeal. And what they do is they prefer the cornmeal better. They spit it out, and they spit all the dirt and sand out of them, which is kind of the purging process. And then they like it. They'll last long. No, don't do that either. Fresh water and clams do not mix. That's why you don't want to set them in a container of ice. Once the ice starts melting and they're sitting in that water, they're going to die. The ice will also freeze them and kill them. There's so many problems with that. So the way I do it, buy the fresh clams, put them in your fridge in a container with paper towels and stuff to keep them nice and happy, such as these little guys. Now people say like, oh, but they open up. Are they dying? No, they're not. Like for example, this one right here, and this one looks delicious. Oh my God, I see them in there. Look at that little shell. It's kind of open. Now, I'm being very careful with it, because watch this. The best way to know if a clam like this is alive or dead, even though the shell's opening, it's probably just getting ready to regurgitate something and just spit something out at my face. It's like, fuck yeah, trash as fuck, spit on me, clam. But, check this out. I'm actually going to hold it to the other camera here real quick. Just give it a little tap. And see how it actually closes? And it stays closed? It just even gave a little cracky thing there. Well, that's because the bivalve, which is shell, here, it's actually protecting it. It felt danger, threatened, or something like that. And it closes like that. So that's perfectly normal. The clam shells will open once in a while, slightly, and then just like start regurgitating and shit. Like all that sand and stuff or whatever it scooped up back when it was in its little water phase of its life. Now it's on the counter phase of its life, and see how it stays closed. So yeah, even though it shows a little chip there, that's okay. So you can keep clams in the fridge under the right conditions, the right music, the right temperature, and just keeping wet paper towels on them, not in ice. You don't want them to actually be submerged or in fresh water. If typically a clam will take 1 to 2 days to get to market from the time it's caught, is typically what it should be. So depending on your source, use your own judgment and talk to your fishmonger, talk to your fish counter, whatever at the store, and find out. Now, are we good with the clam thing? These things are pretty much purged. I think I gave you quite a bit of info on this. But the best thing is cooking clams is so fucking easy as fuck. So let's get started. I'm going to do a recipe called steamed clams Italiano, and it's so simple and easy to do. We need parsley, garlic, butter, oregano, crushed red pepper flakes, basil, some white wine, of course, because our clams like to drink white wine. And I'm employing the wok for this one because I want something deep and high. I'm steaming them in there. I also have the lid for it. You can use any kind of deeper skillet, frying pan, iron skillet, whatever it is. Just watch your heat. So let's get the heat kicked up here. And we're going to let this pan warm up. The other thing we want to do is scrubby, scrubby, wubby, because these things sat in mud for a long time. Clams can live up to 500 years, which means they get about 10 centimeters big. So clams can last a long time sitting in mud, so we want to make sure we give them a good scrub. Now, one thing you never want to do is when you get a batch of clams, get your brush out, start scrubbing them down, put them in the fridge to keep them forever. Remember, fresh water, clams don't like. And if you think that you're going to take sea salt like this and make seawater out of them to keep your clams alive, you're fucked. Don't do that. So, want to make sure we get, clams love cold, but they don't like ice cold. So again, keeping them on ice will kill them. Keeping them in fresh water that's cold will kill them. And you want fresh clams when you go to cook them, or they're going to kill you. So, here we go. What I like to do is just kind of take my clams, and we're going to start putting them under cold water. Now, if you watch the reaction, this one's the one that was kind of open, a little cracked shell. We're going to be very careful with this guy. You know he's not going to last much longer. We're not going to completely submerge him under the water, but we do want to give him a good scrub just like this. And he's been tightening up. Give him a good little scrubby wubby. Then aside, grab his friends. These guys have good solid shells. So our pan's nice and hot, and this is such a simple recipe. So guys, we got our butter, we got our oregano, some red pepper flakes, and our basil. We're gonna go ahead and we'll start with our butter first. Pull that heat back. Let's get that into our wok. Get the butter melted down. We're gonna also add a couple cloves of garlic. Just drop those right in there. Then we're going to add our aromatics, oregano, red pepper flakes, and basil right in, because that handle is a little hot. So actually, I'm just going to put that on it, just like that. Oh, that's much better. Okay. Add a little white wine, and just eyeball it. It's wine. Maybe about a cup or whatever of that. And we want that to start simmering. Get it up to where it's just about to start simmering and bubbling and stuff. And then we're going to add our clams. And clams literally take just a few minutes to cook. As soon as they start popping open, they are fucking done. And it's going to be so fucking awesome. Fuck yeah. And we're parsing our clams ready, and that is exactly what we want right there. We're going to go ahead and drop these babies in there. We'll just ease them in. And I'm going to now add some of that parsley. And we're going to save a little bit for later, just for garnish. There we go. We're going to cover that up and let that steam build up. Now, what you're going to notice is that as you're watching this, and I'll go ahead and pull this handle for now. As you're watching this, the clams are going to start popping open. When they open, they're done. So you want to get them out. So make sure you have a bowl or a plate ready. And we're going to get that set up right now. All right, look at that. These guys are starting to pop open. I don't know if you can see that. But look at that. As they pop open, we're going to pull them out carefully. And we're going to just put them in a bowl for now. Now, the reason why we want to take them out as they go along, even though we're going to serve them all at the same time, is we just want to make sure that we don't overcook them or they get very tough and chewy. As soon as they pop, you want to get them out. And then when we're ready to serve them, and drop them in there. Get them really tossed really good in that sauce and plate them. Oh yeah, the last two open up just beautifully. Excellent. All right. Let's go ahead and move this lid back. We'll drop these others in there nice and carefully. And this is going to be the final little heat up part. There we go. Back on. Well, make sure they're not stacked up on each other, of course. There we go. Want all of them in that nice juice. Give them a good swirl and we'll kill the heat. And that's really it. I'm going to go ahead and put these on a nice little plate here. I already have 2 little lemon wedges on. We got our little spooning spoon there. And look at that. They are so done. Let's go ahead and get these out. On a nice little plate. I have to do a picture for the cookbook, so I'm using this black plate. And we'll get those arranged really nice. There we go. We have this really awesome sauce right now. Nice stir. We're just going to spoon that over then. Then throw a little fresh parsley on that as we can. There we go. And there it is. Look at these delicious little clams. And this recipe is called Steamed Clams Italiano. I'm going to get a picture of this, and it's going to be in the cookbook. So, make sure you check out my website, painfreakofficial.com, right there. And my YouTube channel, well, obviously, if you're watching this. And all my social and everything. And find out how I can cook for you and your private special event. I'm your little pain freak. Culinary pain toy. Play with me, not your food. I mean, I play with clams, but you play with me. And I'll cook for you. And hire me for your special event. Check out my website to find out how to book me. So this is my Steamed Clams Italiano. And I'm very excited about it. It's going to be awesome as fuck. Love you guys.